Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter at the Republican National Convention in Tampa, Florida. With me now is Florida's Chief Financial Officer, Jeff Atwater. And Jeff, thanks so much for being with us today.
Kathleen, good to be with you. Thank you.
Well, it was just a few months back. I was driving down the street in our mutual hometown of North Palm Beach, Florida. I saw you outside gardening. I rolled down my window. I said, Jeff, who's going to win the primary? And you said, it's going to be Mitt Romney. I wasn't totally convinced at the time, but here we are.
Here we are. You know, he just has had such a powerful message about economic growth and prosperity. And I think that is what everyone has been longing to hear again, that you would have a candidate that believes in the American people, that believes in our form of governance, believes in limited government, believes in the talent of the individual to carry us. And I think it was such a powerful message from a man who had that kind of experience that I was really not surprised at all.
Now, Barack Obama and Mitt Romney are right now virtually tied in the polls, which is kind of extraordinary considering that Mitt's had to deal with all of those negative attack ads over the past several months. Can Mitt Romney win over the electorate tonight with his speech? What does he need to say and do in order to win over those undecideds, the unaffiliated, the 10% of the electorate that could make or break the election for him?
And that's what it will really be. That undecided today that I still believe is looking, if they know Barack Obama, there's 100% name ID and 100% understanding for what he stands for. Many, many people do know Mitt Romney, and those who know him in business. Those who know him from Massachusetts, how he cut taxes, balanced a budget, and created jobs. Those who have seen him on the campaign trail speak with a genuineness of the American dream. So I think Mitt Romney speaking tonight about how he had confidence in himself, but it was a tradition of what he knew and understood as the hard work of the American people. He lived that dream. I think if he explains that and how he will champion that same enterprising, enthusiastic commitment to oneself and their own future, people will embrace that again. They want a president that believes in them again. And he does that. He has lived that. That's who he is.
Jeff, a number of pundits are saying that this election could all come down to Florida, much like it did in 2000. Florida, we know, has those 29 electoral votes up for grabs. Do you think it will come down to Florida? Will Florida decide the election? And in the coming months, how aggressively will these two men be fighting it out in Florida?
It will come down to Florida. The next president will have won Florida. There is no way that the next president of the United States will be president without winning Florida. Mitt Romney must win Florida. And I think, to the point, people have talked about what the Paul Ryan impact on the ticket in the Florida and things that Paul Ryan has fought for and trying to preserve Medicare and preserve it for the long haul for the next generation. There is no mistake about it that if Barack Obama can carry Florida, he retains the presidency. There'll be no less than $100 million from Barack Obama or Barack Obama supporters to influence the outcome of the election in Florida with things that they will say which will be terribly untrue, but only have to work long enough, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe only 3 or 4 days near the end, to carry the election for him. And so it's going to be powerfully important that Mitt Romney's message and those of us who are out here supporting Mitt Romney in Florida stay active to the very end to help be sure that the Floridian knows exactly who they're voting for and the truth about where these two men stand.
That's sort of my next question for you. Florida has a very large senior population. Obviously, the seniors there care very much about Medicare. How do seniors in Florida view Paul Ryan's Medicare ideas, and what is your advice to the senior population as they head to the polls and will no doubt be facing all of those negative attack ads and scare tactics from the Obama campaign?
I think the Florida senior is much like the American senior, and so far there has been early polling that has said that they're very receptive to the Paul Ryan message and the message that Mitt Romney have been expressing, and here's how they see it. Our American senior is one who has dedicated their full life. I mean, these are individuals who fought for freedom in other continents.
Right.
They came back, they pressed through a depression early in life. They have fought through a Cold War, all for the next generations. It would be hard for me to even imagine that Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, being directly honest with them, that the entitlement of Medicare today will not be there for their children unless something changed, that they won't be the first to say, Barack Obama, stop lying to us. Our entire life's work has been about the next generation. Mitt Romney wants to save Medicare for the next generation. Stop lying about that man. You do something about it. We'll embrace Mitt Romney's message. Even if it's change, we're embracing that because Mitt Romney is not going to harm Medicare for current seniors and those about to become our seniors. He's going to preserve it for the future.
Jeff, last question for you is on sort of a separate topic. As Florida's Chief Financial Officer, what fiscal challenges will the Sunshine State face if Romney doesn't win and the GOP cannot repeal Obamacare?
Kathleen, thanks for sharing that question, because for any other reason, if Mitt Romney does not win this election, and Barack Obama presses through the federalization of health care in America, presently 1/3 of the entire state budget is one line item. That's Medicaid. If Obamacare goes into effect, you'll be adding millions to the rolls of Medicaid. It's presently 1/3 of the state budget. There is nothing else to cut. This is going to be tax upon tax of our fellow Floridians to cover a federal program that nobody wants if he is reelected, and Obamacare cannot be stopped. Nobody wants it. He pressed for it. It is going to bankrupt Florida without extraordinarily new high taxes. You could reduce all of the criminal justice system, all of general government, do away with the Department of Forestry, all the things you could possibly do away with, and we'll still have to raise taxes to cover Obamacare. And it's just an atrocious idea, and it would bankrupt our state unless we're going to raise taxes on Floridians. And they don't want it, they don't need it. So that's why it matters. Get out and vote Mitt Romney and preserve Florida and save America.
All right, we'll leave it there. Florida Chief Financial Officer Jeff Atwater, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Kathleen.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.